What's up, guys? So today we're going to talk about how to make Pokemon and Undertale text cutscenes. So let's get into it. The cutscene tutorial is right here. Let's go ahead and play it. Should just have to press X. And that's some Banjo-Kazooie for you. And that's what you guys want. So what you can do, let's go ahead and open it up. What you want to do is actually, in all honesty, pull out a trigger zone and connect it to the power port of your selector. Within that trigger zone, actually make what you want it to detect. And that way, it'll only power on the option to press X whenever that is within this Pokemon style radius. So, if you know how the trigger zones work, all you need is label the tag or the label. You can use labels here. If your label of your main character is friend goes in there, you can press X. Or you can use tags within that radius, press X. Plug the detection into the power port, and then that's pretty much how you can do that. But outside of that, let's go ahead and start talking about how you can animate this stuff. So just go here, mess with the animation speed, mess with what kind of text, type it in. Here's my settings, just in case you need these exact settings, but I think you just need the type of speed, and then pretty much that's how you get all that to type down. Now you can connect the sound files to text active. You can try doing that. You can also try connecting it to the other side. I have it connected to the right side, so whenever we're actually, let's say we entered that radius, you want 3 inputs. A blank input, so that way whenever you press X, you're just instantly on this input. But whenever you press X with your control sensor, it can be outside of here or within the puppet. You can use your puppet control sensor. It moves to the next output. This is the next output, which has the sound file for, the Banjo-Kazooie or whatever you're going to use. But then it also plays the text. And then whenever you press X again, it plays, the next animation, the next text box, the next sound file. Now there's a few things you can do to kind of improve upon this, and that would be to make it to where whenever this selected thing activates, it mutes this sound file. And there's an easy way to do that. You could try using a keyframe to mute it by powering it off, and then set the keyframe to keep changes, that way it stays powered off. It's just if you do it that way, for the sound files, you'd have to make it to where, every keyframe powers off whenever it needs to, if that makes sense. But this will pretty much get the job done. This will pretty much get the job done to where you guys can do the rest. Now, if you wanted to make a Telltale game or a story, a story game where it's like a visual novel, you can add an AND gate to your selector and then look up a main menu tutorial, a main menu Dreams Ps4 tutorial. With all of that, you'll learn pretty much how to do that, how to transform this into a visual novel game that has options. Of course, you could use this kind of display for that also. If you didn't want to use the text display, you could use the dialogue thing. The dialogue thing's pretty much the same thing, except you have these options here. I'm not sure if it can animate. I guess it can, so you could use this with this also. That way, if you were to have this, you could add all that to it if you wanted to also. So that's how you do all that, to where, at least this is how I would do it. There's other ways to do it, like if you were to use a calculator, you could use a calculator combined with a timeline So let's say we open up the timeline and the text box is in here, right? And then let's say we have X to increase the count. So here's what happens when we increase the count. You could do something like that also, if you wanted to do it like that, but you would like have to measure down the appropriate thing. So let's say we have 2 here. See how it just inches forward? You'd like have to measure that. Then put this here, then size it down to where whenever we press X, so if I was to press X, it would make this increase if that was connected to this. Then we would be ready for the next text. The next text would start. And then you could do it like that also. You would just have to make it to where the sound only plays once, if that makes sense. So you might want to put the sound outside of here and like make it to where it plays once, powers on. With a keyframe in here, you can power that on. Or you could even use an exclusive gate. An exclusive gate, connect the sound to the active port, and then pretty much set it to Q. And then whenever this right here is done, and you might want to put it in a timeline, whenever this is done, connect the playhead position to a calculator, because this is actually a variable. Put that in here. So let's see what the playhead position is. I think it's just 1 whenever it's finished. Yeah, it's 1 whenever it's finished. It doesn't matter how long it is, it's always going to be 1. Let's see here. So whenever this is 1, the result can make it to where another timeline starts and or it closes off this gate to where this won't be active anymore, if that makes sense. So you could do something like that also. I'm just giving you guys extra options here because I know a lot of people probably want like to know as much about this as possible since it's sort of cutscene-y. So this is some stuff you can do with it. Mess around with it, but the base gist is pretty much the selector. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. Thank you so much for giving me your time. And again, the sounds you could either put in timelines or you could have them outside of here. The base options that I have for it is once, but you could also try sustain. I would look through here. And see what else you could do with things, if there even is anything else. It doesn't look like there is. You might want to change it to instrument. Maybe that'll like, you know, seems like there's some extra options up here. Clip playback mode if it's in instrument mode. So maybe check this out too. And that's about it. That's about it. So whenever it's in instrument mode, just, you know, make it to where it's like once or sustain. And you can mess around with this. You might not need anything on. So here we are. Make sure it's loud enough. EQ, everything. This is how you make things less muddy. So if you have a deep voice, turn this down. If you have a high-pitched voice, turn this down. Turn things up if you need to. That's pretty much how that works. All right, peace out, peace out, peace out, peace out, peace out, and connect the X button to move to the next output. Keep this one blank. And trigger zone to activate this. Put the trigger zone detection into the power port right here. What this does is makes it to where it's a true value. So let's say just in case this will actually help somebody. So the base value for this is always 1. It's always 1. It's always 1, but like, if I was to turn this on, which I don't even know if it's actually on. Guess I had to plug it into here, and now I'd have to plug this into here, then turn this on. Yeah. So the real value is actually 20, but the default value is 1, if that makes sense. So this is like the real thing that it's doing, and that might be why things don't work for you the way you want. So if you want like the real thing that you have your logic doing, try turning that on, because that could be default for more than just numbers. It could also be the default for button presses or anything outside of that. So try turning that on, because that makes it the real thing instead of just the base thing, if that makes sense. Okay, that should be it. That should help you guys out with this type of cutscene. And again, this can still be improved upon, so make your improvements as you need, but this is pretty much how you do it. Don't forget to subscribe. Just make this longer if you need more cutscene bubbles, and always keep the first one blank. Alright guys, peace out, peace out, peace out. And if you wanted to go back, like a button to go back, I would like put that button in here. And then see what this does. I don't know what it does, but yeah. Here we are.